Good evening, folks. This is Deb. I've been asked to weigh in on the debate, so let's do that, okay? But first, let me just state this. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that I'm talking to here that the man who claimed that the 2020 election was rigged and the man who claimed that, all of his court cases have been rigged is now claiming that the debate was rigged and that the moderators interrupted him too much during the debate. He felt like it was 3-on-1. Well, you know what, Donald? Maybe you shouldn't lie so much because the moderators actually did their job this time around. And this is what an actual debate looks like, which is exactly why Donald Trump looked like the blithering, bloviated, ugly, white, angry man that he is. Okay. And we got to see that courtesy of Kamala Harris. So she threw him off from the very beginning of this debate by walking out there, her usual joyful, polite, happy self, and walking up to him at his podium and introducing herself because she had never met him in person before and making sure that he understood how to properly say her name. That kind of threw him off through the whole debate. But she did other things too. Aside from making sure that people knew exactly who she was and where she stood on the issues. Because let's face it, she views herself as the new kid on the block here. And that's a smart thing to do. We may know Kamala Harris, okay, because maybe people in blue states are more familiar with Kamala Harris's history and her job performance and what she did for a living before she got to the Senate and before she became the vice president. Okay? But maybe people in red states don't know Kamala Harris as well. So she had to get that word out there. But while she was doing that, she was also dropping little zingers at Donald Trump that was clearly getting under his skin. And the one to me that was the most obvious was when she tacked on a little comment after making a point about an issue when she said, I'll tell you something else about Donald Trump. If you watch his rallies, you'll see people leaving in the middle of it out of sheer boredom or something to that effect. Those aren't her exact words, but that's basically what she said. Well, you know what? It was hard for the moderators to get him back on the issue. And this is where Donald Trump gets exposed for exactly what he is. He's a little snowflake with a massive ego, whose ego can't be bruised. Because if we bruise his ego, he loses all control. And he lost control during the debate. He was meandering, couldn't form sentences. And let's talk about the fact that the man is in cognitive decline, period. End of story. There is no more denying this, folks. He doesn't have Joe Biden to hide behind anymore. He's actually got a person now who is younger, who is able to deflect his lies, knows how to handle his lies, and is not surprised by his lies. She is also not 81 years old and was not sick while on the debate stage. Kamala Harris manhandled Donald Trump. She ate him for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then she stole his milk money while she was at it. She was spot on every issue. Discussion of Obamacare. Donald Trump, once again, talking about replacing it. He's been talking about replacing it with a better plan that's better for the people and cost the government less money since the first time he was in office. And he still doesn't have a plan. He has a concept. And the Republican Party has been trying to turn over Obamacare in the courts, just like they did Roe v. Wade. Another thing he bragged about. And Kamala Harris made it clear to him that no woman asked for that. No woman asked for Roe to be overturned and returned to the states. No woman asked to be bleeding out in parking lots, waiting for a point in time in their illness where they could get treated without a doctor having to be afraid of going to jail. Nobody asked for 12 and 13-year-old kids to carry a baby to term that was conceived as a result of incest or rape. No woman asked for this. And let me throw my own caveat in here. No state should be voting on other people's rights. I should not be voting on someone else's rights. Those are rights. They are not policies or laws. They are inalienable rights. And Donald Trump took away one of those rights from women, and he's been taking away rights from women since then. On the withdrawal from Afghanistan, which he laid at the feet of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, she made it clear that it was Donald Trump who negotiated only with the Taliban, not with the Afghan government. The Afghan government fled the country. Negotiating with the Taliban resulted in 5,000 Taliban members being released from prison. There was no way that was going to end well, but that was on Donald Trump. When she made a point to make sure that he knew she does meet with world leaders and that they very definitely have an opinion on Donald Trump, and that is that he is a disgrace and a danger and a laughingstock. Who did he invoke as a leader he has a great relationship with? Viktor Orban, the man who dismantled democracy in Hungary. No, folks, during this debate, Donald Trump was absolutely exposed for what he is. And it is clear that he should never serve one more day in the Oval Office. There is nobody who should still be sitting on the fence on this election. There is only one candidate who loves this country, who cares about democracy, and who will work for the poor and the middle class on both sides of the aisle. Because at the end of the day, we're all in the same boat. And that's Kamala Harris. It is not Donald Trump. Donald Trump has never done a thing for the poor and the middle class. He didn't during his first term. The only people he served during his first term were the wealthiest people in the nation, with a tax cut that added trillions to the deficit and put that on the backs of the American people. Donald Trump must be defeated in November. There is absolutely no question at this point. And let me just say that Kamala Harris challenged him to another debate in October. And you know what? He has said he will not do that. And he's saying the only reason she wants to debate is because she knew she lost. Kamala Harris did not lose this debate. She crushed it. Okay? Donald Trump lost the debate. It was a disaster for him. And everybody from Fox all the way down to Lindsey Graham said it. So you know what? Let's get out there, folks. You know what? If you're a Republican, you don't have to become a lifelong Democrat. You just need to be a Democrat for this election so that we can save this nation and make sure we can have two parties that are healthy. I'll talk to you all later.